I am asking the medical and scientific research communities to please examine this phenomena and develop tests to either confirm or reject the hypothesis. Over 30 years ago, I began to meet and converse with a few top Western Pennsylvania runners who, although thin, fit, muscular, and mentally tough, rapidly lost the ability to run or jog. These few individuals went from being able to run 5 and 6 minute miles to, in a matter of a few short months, only being able to walk slowly. Extensive medical tests on these people showed no known disease or illness causing this phenomenon. I find this curious, but since it didn't affect me or my own running or my work as a school science teacher, I chalked it up to some factor unknown. Occasionally, as years passed, I would meet another ex-runner who reported these same concerns. In 1997, as a 50-plus-year-old, I continued to run at a high level, and my ability and enthusiasm for the sport had not waned. One day, as I started my daily 10-mile run, I was shocked to find my legs would hardly move, and I was only able to walk. Thinking I was just tired, I returned home. All seemed well for the next few weeks until the same inability to run or jog happened again. After the third or fourth episode of this strange weakness, and fearing heart disease, multiple sclerosis, which runs in my family, cancer, or some other illness, I began to consult with my family physician and meet with specialists and have tests that these physicians ordered. These were the conclusions from a dozen doctors and labs. Testing showed me muscular, fit, yet no known explanation why I could no longer race, run, or jog. I had become weak, stiff, achy, yet appeared and tested to be a healthy individual with no known medical condition. Remembering the few men I had met over decades earlier reported similar symptoms. From my science teaching, runner's training, and exercise physiology readings, I was reminded that oxygen-rich blood moves to working muscle joints in the brain through a process of vasoconstriction of the gut and vasodilation of moving muscles, joints, and alert brain. This phenomenon of vasoconstriction and vasodilation can easily be explained by the simple illustrations. The nervous, jittery feeling we have moments before we give a big speech or presentation, or as we participate in a tension-filled athletic event, and the extreme tiredness and relaxation we feel after eating that enormous Thanksgiving turkey dinner. The nervous stomach before a tense event was vasoconstriction. The sleepy, relaxed feeling is vasodilation of our gut as it draws blood away from muscles and brains to aid in complete digestion. Science knows that our fitness, muscle strength, oxygen uptake, cardiovascular systems all can and do show gains and declines with diet, exercise, or conversely can be affected by disease, inactivity, or poor diet. Might then human brain chemistry of normal healthy vasoconstriction or vasodilation become weak and lead healthy people to not be able to race, run, or jog? Or much more importantly, develop the same undiagnosed symptoms of muscle weakness, fatigue, joint stiffness, brain fog, as described by my small group of age group champion runners who I knew and studied. Again, I asked the medical community to examine and test this idea with scrutiny. Certainly this concept of weakening vasoconstriction appears not only explain the small group of runners' symptoms, but may partially explain chronic fatigue syndrome and the phenomenon of some older athletes and individuals who set records, health standards are high into their 60s, 70s, and 80s and beyond. Scientists may solve multiple mysteries by investigating whether this concept has validity. I remain anxious to relate my records and other evidence to any researchers who might be interested. There is much to be gained. Hopefully you see that there's something dramatically wrong with a person who could run a 36-minute 10K in a matter of a year or less, went from 36 minutes to running an hour for 5K. Half the distance, double the time. My breathing seems normal, like I'm running an 8-minute pace. I feel like my heart rate is about equal to running an 8-minute pace, yet my legs are moving at 15 or 20 minutes a mile, and I cannot make them move any faster. When this started occurring with me. I started going to cardiologists, psychologists, exercise physiologists, urologists, any kind of a doctor that I thought might have some insight into what this might be. I tried to ask what it was, and to a person, none of them had any answer at all. Matter of fact, some of them just said, there's no illness that you're describing that we know of. Certainly that's real frustrating for a person that has some type of a syndrome or illness or disease, and medical doctor after medical doctor after medical doctor tells you that you're perfectly healthy, you're trim, got good cardio function, good muscularity, yet you can't lift up any weight, you can't run, you fall asleep 4, 5, or 6 times a day after 7 or 8 hours of good sleep at night. You start to wonder what the issue really then is. And this video hopefully is going to show what I believe I've found is causing the problem. I certainly have no answers how to solve it, and I don't know how people get it in the first place. But I believe I know what this illness, disease, syndrome is, and that's what this video is meant to do.